Okay, episode number 2, and that's number 2 of mental rebirth, my mental rebirth journey. So the topic is mastering forgiveness and developing a forgiving heart. Here, this episode is curated from different segments that come from different time periods of my healing journey, when I would receive something to help unlock my true self. Because I received things here and there. So now here I put it together. So I decided to put them all in one body where I can easily get access to it as a resource in the future till we make sure and I'm saying we because it's me, my spirit, my soul, my heart, my mind, my body, till we make sure the old self is completely dead and departed and gone as a living evidence to my decision and the destination I'm headed to. So here we start. This was one of the hardest topics for me to deal with, but it became one of the most liberating ones as I gained understanding on how and why I need to deal with it. It started with the intention, but it was helpful to learn the law attached to it as well. So for the intention, now every day I am consciously choosing to become my higher self, like the form that I'm embodying, to become my higher self with the higher standards that I see and want for myself, which is the true divine self of me. And everybody has it, it's not just me. And do good deeds. So the purpose, the intention is to become my higher self, my true divine self, and do good deeds. While evidently we are living in a world that becoming a beast is so much admired, appreciated, and praised for. And I'm mentioning the beast because this is my personal journey and I've been there, thinking that's the way to be due to the very fine programming and blueprint in our current societies, but also in our current societies that it's like a good thing. Like, I'm a beast. Like, people take pride in it, right? I used to do that. It's like, I'm becoming a beast. I'm a beast, right? I'm a beast at doing this. Like, now it's like, oof, what did I do to myself? But also the consequences of such programming results in things like unforgiveness, I realized, because you constantly hear and start believing and sowing faith into the lie that we live in an unjust world, which is wrong, where you constantly have to fight for your rights. And if you are being a good person, then you're being taken advantage of because you don't respond like them. And then you start feeling resentful. The feelings pile up where you keep harboring unforgiveness in your heart. And the first person to be damaged, of course, is myself. So after the understanding came, and I took responsibility, the question was, why am I doing this to myself? Since first and foremost, I'm keeping a yoke and burden on myself that blocks me from moving forward in life and receiving the blessings that I deserve. So here are the two things I did not understand. Number one, forgiving is more about releasing me, because the law states that whatever I sow, I will reap. So doesn't it make sense to sow good things if I expect good things to come back to me? And number two, it was necessary for me to understand that the offense that I felt was a result of the both parties involved functioning their avatars with their malfunctioning minds. And I just want to highlight it. Their avatars that were functioning with their malfunctioning minds, right? Because no healthy mind would do that. So I understood I contributed and created it too. This here is real. Thanks to Dr. Rodman, who opened my eyes to help me see the truth and heal from it. So the way a malfunctioning mind is identified is when it is not functioning in its original purpose and wiring. And for that, I needed to study and understand, like really, like the infrastructure of a healthy mind to be able to diagnose what's not of it. Now, if we discuss it from the divine perspective as well, and this is not religious, just I'm talking about divine. It is advised to forgive others their debts, so mine can be forgiven as well. And by debts, I mean that forgiveness yoke that I keep against them, because that's real too. Like people feel that, like it's heavy, right? It's just, it creates burdens and it creates dams, right? It's clogged, like the way for good life and blessings and everything is clogged. So it's that unforgiveness yoke. It's not a good thing to do. Forgive people as if, and this is an advice to me, right? Forgive people as if they did not do it and forget. This does not mean I have to rock with them and be friends. Just forgive and let go. When I do this, it allows me to see how God does it for me, right? So I won't forget that. When I do this, it allows me to see how God does it for me. Because how does it make sense to ask for forgiveness for myself, yet keeping others indebted and bondage to me? I'm asking for something that I'm not willing to give up or give personally. And if I choose to believe otherwise, that it can happen, that I could be forgiven without forgiving others, then good luck to myself. Good luck, Nairi. It's the definition of insanity. It's not possible. It's not going to happen. So here's why I was not able to forgive and forget in the past when people would do wrong to me. Of course, now I know it was a result of my mind's malfunctioning and lack of understanding of how life works, but it was a self-protection mechanism to avoid the same or similar offense from happening the next time, or sometimes even looking for an opportunity to respond to the person or prove my point. And what a waste of energy. I'm not suggesting it, not recommending it to me, neither someone else. Because energy is a precious currency, like such a valuable currency, and I should only be investing it in things that I want for my life and that are worthy and valuable for my life. And then I even came to this realization that I was thinking I'm just gonna keep that as a protection mechanism so I would avoid the same things from happening again, but they will do it again anyways. It's an issue they're having. It's a cry out for help, that they are dealing with something on their own and I can't help them, or let's say, yeah, I can't help them because I'm still in the process, because I'm dealing with something myself too. But what I can do from now on, that I gained this understanding, is choose not to accept and engage with it. So I won't feel it in my heart anymore, because let's be honest, that unforgiveness is all trapped like in the heart, right? Like just keep it in the heart. The heart wants to do it. Because that's the power and authority that we have with our minds to accept or reject. So why am I not going higher from my heart to the mind to overrule my heart and just choose not to accept it? There you go. It's not mine. Like, keep it to yourself. Again, shout out to my teacher, Dr. Rothman, for all these wonderful applicable solutions of healing. Because this right here was such an eye-opener, like helped me so much really to understand the positions of heart and mind and their capabilities and their authorities and all of that. It really helps put things in order. Like No more malfunctioning, no more disorder, no more being confused. I know what I'm creating. I know what I'm creating. That's the beautiful part. But then when I was thinking of I was thinking about this, okay, like who cares? Like don't accept it, whatever. But then the worries about public opinion kicks in and wanting to control someone else's, someone else, that other person that was involved, to get them to think a certain way about me, or to get them to think a certain way about me because I was not able to control myself in that process that the offense happened. So yeah, now, okay, so since I couldn't control myself and I already uh, am engaged, I have engaged with it now, let's get them to think a certain way. Like, again, just what a waste of time. But you know, and I'm talking about those thoughts, like those, like, because I wanted to prevent these thoughts, like, oh, she's weak, she's naive, she's not strong, thinking they can take care of, they can take advantage of me again, or they can do whatever they want and I won't say a thing, or go come back at them, or because I won't come back to, or get back to them, or attack them, or like anything, because I just can't, like I'm not that good. And all those idle thoughts, right? Like, really, Nairi, now that you're honest with yourself, those are all idle, useless thoughts. Now that I know that, I don't care anymore. I'm responsible for my own thoughts, my words, my actions, my energy, and my time invested in anything that I'm doing. And I'm not willing to invest any of it anymore into creating malfunctions. No more. No more. Because I understand the value and purpose of life now, the life that I've been given. It takes self control to forgive and let go. So, Nairi, don't invest into the malfunction by trying to respond to it. Because, yeah, if I'm responding, then I'm investing to create more malfunction. And I know from now on, I can accept or reject and not take it personal, because it was not personal anyways. Forgive, move on, and let go. I don't have to respond to everything. I don't have to fight everything. Just stop. Start investing into things that I want for myself. How about giving a piece of my mind of some wisdom, some knowledge, so when I need it, I can get it back in return. And this, again, this here was a huge, huge mental supplement that I learned from Mental Rebirth. Shout out to my teacher, Dr. Rodman. I just love this process. Now, to sum it up and put the truth on it for myself, making sure I say goodbye completely and nothing is left of it, right? It's like everything's like put in that bag and thrown away. I will touch up on couple marker points for myself. Number one, now I understand it was me positioning myself wrongfully due to the learned unworthiness, inconfidence, lack of self love, self care, self worth, self respect, self awareness, and order in my life. So I was lacking in all of this. That led me to expecting someone else giving me these rights. This was one of the hardest things for me that my eyes got open to see, accept, and understand, because it makes it evident that I allowed the offense as well. Who wants to be in that position anyways, right? It's like, that's why I'm saying it was difficult for me to come into terms with that. I did it to myself too. It's like, did I? Like, no, I didn't, right? Like, just keep fighting that at the beginning until you really surrender that, okay, you did. Let's accept it. Because sometimes we allow it subconsciously, not knowing how to control self therefore the situations. So it starts with controlling self, therefore what's inside of me can come outside of me, can be projected outside. So once I control myself, I can control everything else outside. Like, anyways, everything else outside of me is a result of what's within me. Now, really consciously understanding that I'm a creator is the empowering part, because, okay, I got it. I created that crap back then, but now I understand I have this power. So what I'm going to do with it moving forward. So the empowering part of this conversation, or this discussion, this conversation with myself, which I love so much, is that I am the creator of my life. Now I know how to create, and I will only create the things that are beneficial, perfect, pleasing, and acceptable to my spirit, soul, mind, heart, and body, to show my appreciation for what I've been given, right? Like, to respect my spirit, soul, mind, heart, like, just really to take care of myself, right? And be good and be respectful to myself. Like, now I know what I'm doing. I'll do better. I know I can do good. I can create good. I'm not going to get trapped in those past cycles. And here, next, number 2 is on my journey, and this is throughout the years I'm speaking, as I would become more conscious of the behavior patterns and programmings that resulted in who I became back then, that would allow these offenses, or did not know how to stop them from coming, or stop experiencing any hardship or evil, etc. A lot of times I felt like blaming my parents for certain things. Carefully choosing my words felt like, because again, it's the heart that wants what it wants. In this case, playing a victim. My heart wanted to play a victim of all those situations and circumstances by blaming my parents. Since those cycles of negative outcomes kept repeating, and I did not know how to get out of them due to some of the upbringing mentalities engraved in me, therefore I was not able to forgive them for the damage I experienced internally over and over again. But here, Dr. Rodman came to the rescue, which really helped soften my heart. And I learned that if they did not initiate the cycle of that behavior, they're not the ones to be blamed for, or like the cycle of that mentality, whatever the case is. And I'm really, really saying that it softened my heart, because it's like I took off a filter off of my eyes. Like, I just started seeing them differently. And that was just too much. Like, I was like, oof, I didn't know I was capable of this. But it felt so good too at the same time. So if somebody didn't start the cycle, they're not the one to be blamed for. But the saying is, I'm saying, like, they could have stopped the cycle, but if they haven't, for whatever reason, of course, for not knowing the how or why, because who wants to get in some negative cycles? Now it's my turn and responsibility to put an end to the cycle of evil and negativity in my life, as I'm able to distinguish it. Now I'm accountable for the future generations and my life after getting introduced to the light. From now on, what matters and the focus is who I choose to become. And I'm not becoming like them. By them, I mean people who offend, trespass, etc., whether knowingly or unknowingly. This is not to judge anybody. Like, this, it's a choice merely for self. I'm just saying, like, okay, I'm not gonna be that, I'm gonna be this. So I'm not choosing to become like that. Maybe a better way to put it. And here the choice is, I forgive and move on, because anyways, they're not gonna change, or the people who offend and whatever, or who caused the offense or trespass, if I even get back them, they're not going to change for that moment or response that I give to them anyways, or I would give them anyways. They do what they know to do best. My responsibility is who I am becoming, what I am creating in this life. Am I going to create more mental disease and malfunctions, or instead give a piece of knowledge and wisdom and peace? Choose wisely, Nairi. And I love this sentence. This is like Dr. Rodman's voice keeps ringing in my ear every time I'm in situations as such, like choose wisely. And choose wisely. Why? Because I want to prove to myself, nature, universe, and the creation that I am anew. I am a new creation. I'm a new being. I only sow good, pleasing, perfect, and acceptable deeds with the intentions to create good in this life. Not just to reap the benefits for me, again, because I so much talked about on prioritizing myself and me. It's like, it's not like the selfish, like, oh, I just want to do that because I just want to, it's a selfish thing. No. Not just to reap the benefits for me, but actually to create good and beneficial deeds for me and everybody else. There is no way I'm getting in the same cycles of behavior, performance of negativity and evil, since I have ended those malfunctioning cycles internally once forever. And yes, still like not 100% sealed, because again, it's like it starts with the acceptance and it's going through a process within you until it really comes down in a full-on action format, right? So I'm every day watching myself, like I'm catching myself and stuff like that, and changing on the spot. And anytime I can correct myself on the spot, I'm proud of myself. I am anew and I can handle situations anew. I promise. To myself, of course. And no, not just myself. The nature, universe, creation, all of them. So here, since I'm anew, here are some of the standards that I choose to abide by since I made the choice to be born again. As it says, mental rebirth. Number 1, be good, Nairi. Hold no records of wrong. And again, good is beneficial for everybody. That's what I mean by that. And follow the divine standards for my life, which is called the standards of godliness, right? Again, I'm not trying to say something weird or something. There's a real psychology behind it. So I'm choosing to live with the divine standards, which are the standards of godliness. Forget people's offenses as God does it for me. Go higher, I mean higher than my heart, and choose to give love. It's like higher than heart is the mind, the soul, and the spirit. And choose to give love. Respond with love. Why am I saying go higher? This is about the order. Oh, yeah, I had it here. Again, doesn't hurt to say the good things. This is about the order I mentioned earlier that I did lack in the past, unknowingly. Now we all know the heart wants what it wants. So it wants to keep the unforgiveness and hold on to the offenses and trespasses and etc. But we are going to remove it anyways, because the heart is not a good leader. So, but know that whatever is removed, Nairi, must be replaced. So I'm choosing to remove the offense and negativity and go higher. Put control on self, because self-control comes from the mind, from a conscious decision-making, and the soul and the spirit. Put control on self, because self-control comes from above, just like how I mentioned now. Since at the end of the day, it was me creating my life 2, from a malfunctioning position in life. And number 2 standard that I'm choosing to abide by: be at peace with everyone as it depends on me, by giving them their birthrights. And these birthrights are real. Like, they changed my life. They just gave me so much insight. And that's why I would do this for anybody with love anytime I have the opportunity to show them what are the birthrights that they have. But now let's just focus on myself for the sake of the healing process and the conversation. So be at peace with everyone as it depends on me, by giving them their birthrights. And number 3 standard is be gentle and give them grace. Because anyways, it is their avatar as much as mine involved in the occasion. Or in this case, I'm better to say was, right? Because from now on, even if any situations happen, I am not engaging. But anyways, I'm choosing to give grace and be gentle by understanding where it's coming from. Number 4, see the good and the true self in people. Not their avatar, the true self, which is within them, that inner self. And speak to that. Be the reason. And speak to that, because now I know that inner self, that true self, can listen, hears me. Be the reason for them to see the good in life. And again, I'm saying see because that's going to be their choice. I can't force it. And maybe choose to change, since we all know that's a personal choice. Nobody can do it for you nor help you. So be the reason for them to see the good in life and maybe choose to change, because it's all a result of their free will and choice, just like how it's for mine. Now, the good news is when I function on these standards of godliness, and well, not all of this were meant to be the standards of godliness. Like, I'm not going to mislead or confuse, but just in general, the standards of godliness. And some of these fit into those standards. And some of them are just personal. Here, I want to distinguish. And I'm saying, so I want to distinguish what I mean by the standards of godliness. I'm not referring to any world religions as well, or their infrastructure, or these world religion infrastructures or practices. I'm simply speaking about God. So, okay, there you go. Simply speaking about God. So when I function on the standards of godliness, there is no weapon that can be formed against me that can prosper, regardless of the realities people are creating around me. With these standards, I can create a perfect world and reality, live above any law that anyone functions in, and stay untouched. Now that I choose to become that free, then my prayers or requests, or we can call it divine investments, can go through as well. Life begins now, because I am removing all those blockages and choosing to live on the good terms and do the good deeds. So life begins now. I can hear it with my whole being. Yep, that's what I hear internally. So good for me. Good news for me. And that was about it. Episode 2 concluded. There.